It's 1:17 in the morning. You just checked your phone. No messages. You knew there wouldn't be. You checked anyway. That's where we are right now. Let me tell you what it was before I tell you what it isn't anymore. It was Sunday mornings. Coffee she made too strong, and you never told her. Because watching her make it was something you didn't know you needed. Until it was just you and the machine and the silence. It was the specific way she laughed at things that weren't that funny. Just because she was in a good mood. And the world felt agreeable. And you were there beside her in it. It was her voice in the next room. Just there. Not saying anything important. Just existing in the apartment at the same time as you. Background noise you didn't know was load-bearing. Until the house went quiet and you felt the weight of the silence where the sound used to be. It was being known. Not perfectly, not completely, but enough. Enough that you didn't have to explain the version of yourself you became at 10 p.m. when you were tired and honest and a little less defended. The version that wasn't performing for anyone. She knew that version. She chose to stay anyway. For a while. That's what it was. And before you tell yourself it wasn't that great, before your brain starts building the case for why this is okay, why it wasn't working, why you're better off, why it was going to end anyway, I want you to sit with what it actually was. Not the argument for leaving. Not the list of reasons. Just what it actually was when it was good. Because the brain lies when it's protecting you. And right now, it is working very hard to protect you. It is building walls and cases and reasons as fast as it possibly can. Because the alternative, sitting with the loss honestly, is the harder thing. But it is the only thing that actually works. So let the brain wait. Let the case wait. Let yourself miss it first. Miss it honestly. Miss the coffee too strong. Miss the voice in the next room. Miss being known by someone who chose to stay. Miss all of it. Because missing it honestly is the only way through it. Not around it. Not over it. Through it. And right now, you are at the beginning of through. Which means you are exactly where you're supposed to be. As hard as that is to hear at 1:17 in the morning. Now the leaving. It didn't happen the way people imagine breakups happen. There was no screaming. No single, unforgivable moment. No villain you could point to and say, there, that's where it broke. That's the person who ruined it. It happened the way most real things end. Slowly, then all at once. First, the distance. So small you almost didn't notice. She was still there, still saying the right things, still showing up, still present in all the ways that could be counted and measured. But something had shifted a few degrees, and you felt it. And you didn't say anything, because saying it out loud meant it was real. And you weren't ready for it to be real yet. So you said nothing. And she said nothing. And the space between you grew one quiet day at a time. Then the conversations that used to run until midnight started ending at 10. Then 9, then 8:30, and both of you pretending that was completely normal. Then the silences that used to be comfortable started having a different weight to them. The kind of silence that isn't rest. The kind that's holding something back. The kind that both people feel and neither person names. And you both knew. You both knew for a while. but knowing and saying are different countries, and neither of you had the ticket yet. Until she did. She was kind about it. That almost made it worse. When someone is cruel, it gives us something to be angry at. Anger is useful. Anger has somewhere to go. When someone is kind, when they're sitting across from you being genuinely gentle about the fact that they're leaving, there's nothing to push against. Just the thing itself. Just the fact of it sitting in the room with you. She said things that were true. You said things that were true. You were both being honest. You were both trying to be fair. And it still ended. Because sometimes, two people can both be telling the truth and still be standing in completely different places. And then she was gone. And the apartment held the shape of her for weeks. Not dramatically, just quietly, in the small places. The second hook by the door that nobody used anymore. The mug at the back of the shelf she always preferred. The side of the bed that stayed perfectly made. The apartment full of the outline of someone who was no longer there to fill it. And then there's the phone. Nobody talks about the phone. You check it when you wake up, before your eyes fully open, before you've remembered where you are or what day it is. For 1/2 second every morning you forget. And then you remember. And the phone confirms it. You check it mid-morning. Not because you think there'll be something there. You know there won't be. But because the habit of her was wired into the rhythm of your day, and your hands haven't gotten the message yet. Your hands are still living in a different month. Still reaching for someone who isn't there to reach back. You see something during the day. A song that would have made her laugh. A restaurant you talked about going to. A sentence in an article that sounds exactly like something she would have said. And your first instinct is still to send it to her. The hand is already moving toward the phone. You catch yourself. You put the phone down. You pick it back up. You check something else instead. You check her last scene. You hate that you check her last scene. You check it anyway. You check it at lunch, on the train, before bed, at 1:17 in the morning. And every time the screen lights up from someone else, from a friend, from work, from a notification that has absolutely nothing to do with her, there is 1/4 of a second where your brain thinks maybe it's her. Maybe she changed her mind. And then it catches up. And the catching up is its own small grief that happens 15, 20 times a day. Nobody tells you about the catching up. Nobody tells you that healing isn't one clean moment of acceptance. It isn't a single morning where you wake up and you're fine. It's 200 small moments a day of your brain learning the new reality. Learning it and learning it again and again and again. Until one day it finally knows. Until one day it stops having to learn. Some days you get to 180 before it catches you. Some days it catches you at 3. Both are fine. Both are the same process moving at different speeds. Both are your brain doing something extraordinarily hard without being asked and without stopping. And it will not stop until it gets you through this. That's what it's built for. Even at 1:17 in the morning, with the phone in your hand, and nothing new on the screen, here's what I want you to know. You're not going to feel better by morning. Probably not by next week. Maybe not for a while. And that's not failure. That's not weakness. That's not you doing this wrong. That's the size of what you lost. The size of the grief is the size of the love. You don't get to have one without the other. That is the deal. Nobody tells you that when it's good. When it's good, it feels like it's just going to keep being good. But the deal is always there. And now you're on the other side of it. You're going to have mornings that are fine. Just fine. Ordinary, fine. Coffee and a quiet apartment, fine. And then you're going to have one that isn't. And that doesn't mean you're back to the beginning. It means you're human and grief isn't linear. And your brain is doing something very hard. Someday, and I can't tell you when because nobody can, you're going to pick up your phone and realize you haven't checked hers in 2 days. You won't notice it until after. You'll be in the middle of something else, and it will occur to you that you haven't checked. That's how you'll know. Not because the pain is gone, because the habit finally got the message. You're going to wake up one morning and reach for the phone, and pause before you check. Just a pause. Half a second. And that pause is everything. You're going to have a conversation that makes you laugh and forget for a few minutes. And then remember. And the remembering will hurt less than the day before. By a fraction. And fractions add up. You're going to eat something good and actually taste it. You're going to sleep eventually and actually rest. You're going to have a day where you walk somewhere and the city looks like itself again, instead of a reminder of her. And one morning, not tomorrow, maybe not next month, you will wake up, and the first thought won't be her. It will be something small and ordinary. Coffee, the light coming through the window, something you need to do today. And you will get up, and you will make the coffee yourself. Exactly as strong as you want it. The size of the grief was the size of the love. That means it was real. That means it counted. That means you were someone who loved something fully enough to grieve it properly. That is not weakness. That is the whole point. It's 1:17 in the morning. Check the phone if you need to. There is no shame in it. Just know that one day, and it will come without announcement, you won't